Hello, Mark Rudd Larsen here for the Dreamcatcher podcast. Thanks for joining me today. This topic just was kind of given to me by the situation that has gone on today, and I think it keeps people from catching their dreams, living their best life, a lot of times, and we uh, we put off things that are difficult, and you could say doing podcasts are difficult, but they once you get they're not that difficult, especially in today's world. But we put off thinking that we can't do it because we're too old, don't have enough money to pay for the software that I'm using, like Riverside or Buzzsprout or any of those multitude of software for podcasting. And we put it off as like, well, I will do the podcast next week. I just don't feel I'm not feeling it today. And that's just one example because I see so many people that they believe, I think truly do believe that they want their best life. They want their dream. They want things to change, but they don't want to take the action to do it because it's uncomfortable, scary, all the above. And it is. Anything new is kind of that way. But with it is the things you're missing because you're not taking that particular action, like learning how to do podcasting, which is just my example, you know, or just doing anything out of your comfort zone. So many people, especially my age, it's like they've been doing what they've been doing for decades, and it's just like I'm too old to learn how to do something else, and they don't want to learn. So they have this barrier up immediately that they're not going to. I'm just too old. I don't have enough money. There's a multitude of excuses, but the thing is, those excuses keep you from potentially having one of the best times in your life, one of the best, experiences, and possibly getting a dream you didn't even know you had before you started and took the action. But I see, I just it I mean, I have people all the time say that they want to learn podcasting or learn, and it's like, but then they don't show up or they have an excuse. And sometimes the excuses are legit, that's cool. But a lot of times it's just like, I can't do it. I've got, somebody coming over or something like that. And it's like, you didn't tell them that you were going to be doing this, which had already scheduled and it kind of ticks me off, but what it really makes me really sad because those people aren't taking their life seriously because you got to put yourself in priority. And it's just like your health. You know, I could have, when I had health problems, I could have just said, give me a pill or something like that. But I had an awesome doctor, and still awesome doctor, who told me to go and get my core built up. So I took action. I went over and got personal trainer, Caleb. He's been on here the most of any guest on the podcast and worked out, and I was not comfortable with ever being around any of that equipment, working out. Not at all. I'm still learning, but it's cool. I love learning new machines, learning just learning. And but that all the people I met because I took the action rather than having, in that case, somebody giving me a pill or something to take care of the problem. It's just, you don't know how many things you're missing in life that potentially are on your path because you don't think you're worth it. You know, I think there's a lot of people out there that don't think they're worth love. They would love to be married, they would love to have a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, but they don't think they're worth it. They don't see themselves in the mind's eye of being worth it. It's like, who would want to love me? Who would want to be around me? What you put out there, you get back. It's kind of how you manifest. And and it's sad because there's somebody out there to love you, to be your boyfriend, girlfriend, to be your spouse. And just think, if you got married or whatever and had kids, talk about changing your timeline just because you decided that, yeah, I'm worth love. I am worth love. I'm lovable. Just just bring it on. Um, and it will be scary because you'll have that ingrained mindset is like nobody loves me. And it's just like you got it's like, yes, they do. And and it's just that is one thing I think that in society, at least in here in the United States, I'm not for sure other parts of the world, um, we just don't get the stuff that we want to do done because we don't think we deserve it, are not able to. We're too old, we're too overweight, we're too skinny, not muscular enough. Just like these people that are running marathons when they're. I mean, the lady today, I think, that completed one at 100, and yeah, there are situations when sometimes your body and health does not allow that, but there's a lot of times where yeah, it probably will be more difficult, maybe, when you're older, but it's still possible. And just think how I mean, she made the news, and just think how many things that she did along the way. It's like, dang, I did that. And forget your age. And I've said that many times in this podcast. It's just like, forget your age. I'm 63. I get that so many times where people think that I shouldn't be doing a podcast. What are you doing a podcast at 63? You should be getting ready to retire. I get that a lot. And it's like, I'm not one that's really much into retiring. Um, and I've said this before, I basically feel like I did at 23. I'm very blessed that way. But I'm doing more things now than I ever did when I was younger. Um, Travel the world. I could definitely travel the world. And I had a guy the other day, yesterday, I guess it was, and he's like, "Well, I don't want to travel. There's plenty of things to see in the United States." Which true, there is. But there's so much to see in the world too. And I could see that was one of his blocks. It's kind of it's safe when you know the United States. You pretty much know what you're gonna get. When you go to another part of the world, potentially you don't know what you're gonna get. I know when Cheryl and I went to Italy, it was actually better than I thought it'd be. Um, but it's just a block that I'm not gonna take my chances on that because I know this I know that what this is gonna be, but I don't wanna do that over there because that might be kinda scary. And, um, and if Cheryl and I'd had that mindset in 2023, we wouldn't have gone to Italy and met all the people that we were with on that trip and still friends with. Um, you just got to put yourself out there. It takes bravery because it is scary. But once you get into the mindset of doing that, it's just like, no, this is non-negotiable. I'm doing that, and yeah, you got to take precautions or whatever. I don't know what the words I'm looking at, but you do since you've never done it before. But it's like anything when you're new. First time you learned how to swim, you took, so you didn't drown. But it didn't stop you from learning how to swim. I mean, it stopped me for a while. It was not that many years ago that I learned how to swim, but I do not swim now. And I wish I'd learned earlier. But yeah, it's just don't or next time you say no to something, it's like, why are you saying no to that? Is it truly because you don't want to do it? And that's cool. But is it because you're scared of what it might entail? Could be. Is it going to make so you have to work out? Is it going to you're going to have to bulk up? Use those machines that I've learned on a lot of them now. Um, I never saw myself working out at a gym, and now I love it. And like I've said many times, the people at the Y in Hastings are family. And I wouldn't have met those people. I wouldn't have met any of those people if it hadn't been for the doctor recommending I do that, and me taking action and doing it. And I never thought I'd have a personal trainer, and I would have never met Caleb, and neither would Cheryl. And Caleb is a very good friend. He's awesome, dude. And he's good at giving me a rough time too. So, and he will not deny that. But it's just don't limit yourself. Don't limit your life because life is to be explored. And don't look at your age and it's like I'm too old to do that. If you're still breathing and you're halfway healthy, you can do just about anything. Go walk, maybe even run walk. Um, or start a new business. That's one thing. People are like, why would I want to start a business this time? I should, it's like, don't let what the narrative is that you should be doing this at this age. Forget that. That's one thing. If more people would have a good later years if they would forget what people are thinking they need to be. Because when you start believing that I have to be this way, you start also manifesting it and you start becoming that person. And they've even shown kind of that people that start, they've lost that spark, the inner child. Don't ever lose your inner child. Start looking old, because it's like, well, I'm old. I guess I got to live like that. And no, you don't. The only one making that decision is you. And even if somebody says, really like you should retire or whatever it is, it's like, no, I shouldn't. I should be making a whole bunch more things that I'm going to do. I'm going to design this product. I'm going to go on a stage and speak. I'm going to write a book. Um, the list is, it's limitless what you can do as long as you don't limit yourself and, be scared. 'Cause a lot of it comes down to being scared. It's new, and new pretty much is always scary unless you get to a mindset where it's like, it just you're not gonna let it. You're gonna do whatever it takes to get through that, and, it's why Cheryl and I, our life are awesome, and Cheryl got a good checkup at her eye appointment yesterday. Um, it's time to celebrate some more. We celebrated last night with some awesome Malbec wine. And some great Gouda cheese and oh, good stuff. But and people are like, oh, it's like, well, you drink wine too much. It's like, um, probably sometimes, but not till I can't even really feel it. So we might have a glass or two a night, and we have been even cutting back on that because I think it is good to go quite a while without any alcohol. I think that is definitely a good thing. But it is my decision, not somebody else's decision that I should be drinking wine or, maybe I'm gonna, who knows, try hot kombucha. That's still something I'm working on. I like it when it's cold, but I don't know about hot. But, and making my own kombucha. A lot of people are like, well, why? Well, just go buy it. You can buy it in the store. It's not like mine. So, and I know what's in there too. But don't limit yourself. And I know I keep saying that in this podcast, but I hate to see it. And that you don't think you're worth it. I think that's the most sad thing there is you don't think you're worth it. We're all worth it. Every one of us on this planet is worth it. Don't forget that. You're worth it. I'm going to point at you. So yeah, there you go. So, you know, just do it. Forget what and there'll be people that are going to be naysayers, um, and show them that, hey, I'm doing it. I don't care what you say. Um, if you have something that dream that you had when you were younger, and you haven't done it and you think you're too old, I want you to go do it. I want you to go start doing it. If not today, tomorrow morning. It's going to be the weekend. Start doing something. Plan it out how you're going to do it. Take action daily because to become that person that has that dream, you have to become that person. And what would that person do with that dream life that you want? What would that person be doing when they got up on a Saturday morning? You got to find that out because that's what you need to do to become that person. That's how you become that person. Like actions bring like results. Um, but I just don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself, even if you're scared. And go to the gym. Go, just go. Go talk to somebody. There's so many people, Nebraska not so much, but there's other places in the country where you can't even hardly talk to a stranger on the street. Strike up a conversation. You might be surprised how many people will really resonate with that. Of course, you're gonna have the people that won't, and you just move on. Because there's always gonna be those people. And if we didn't have those people, we wouldn't know the good ones. And somebody a long time ago told me that if we didn't have the negative or the not so nice days of weather, we would know what good weather was or good people. And sometimes when people don't want to talk to you, they're going through something, and we have to just give them a break on that because sometimes they just do need time away, from people. Um, but it's just start a podcast. Like I said, everybody can do a podcast. It is so easy because most everybody got a smartphone, and you don't need the studios. Like so many people are showing you have to have studios. You have to have the really awesome mics, which are cool. and all the everything. But I can tell you right now, you don't. With this Riverside, they take the worst audio and all that stuff, and they make it studio quality. And it's just amazes me. And with the AI, it does reels and snippets and gives me the transcript, and it makes my job much easier. I still have to go through the transcript to make sure it's accurate. Um, but I'm getting to the point where I can almost do a podcast episode maybe in 45 minutes. And after, not so that's after recording it. So getting it all ready. But and then and then it's not that hard to get a YouTube channel. There's Buzzsprout, which helps you put it up, and other ones. I think Podbean does it too. To put it up to Spotify, Apple Music, iHeart. I mean, then there's a bunch. And once you become accepted, when some of you get accepted immediately to their platform, um, pretty much they do it. There's more that you can do, but the basics are done for you. You just got to make sure it's getting done right, and 99% of the time it is. I've had great luck with Buzzsprout and Riverside. And then Audacity, free. It's a free editing software. It's where I put the intro and outro on. Got the outros, those done, intro and outros done on Fiverr. If you haven't used Fiverr, Fiverr's an awesome tool, resource. There's a lot of really cool people on there that are waiting for you to hire them to do whatever you need done, like an intro and outro. And yeah, but just start. If you want to start a cake decorating business, start making cakes, start decorating, put yourself out there, do a video, do Facebook, do Facebook lives. Yeah, they'd be intimidating, but you very quickly will get over that, because it's like we're all just existing. We're just getting through we're walking each other, home, it's like the old saying. But everybody's going through something. Everybody struggles. Some people are better at not showing it, but everybody struggles, and that's why we should be kind to everybody. But just do it, and there's going to be people that are going to say, "Oh, wow, that sucks," or whatever, and it's like, could be, but it's not stopping me, because there will be. For one thing, when they say that, usually you're doing the action that they should be doing, a lot of times, and you're showing them up, and they don't like that, because that makes them think that maybe I will have to do that action, and yeah, maybe they should. You be the example. So, so on that, it's just, don't let yourself stop you from getting your dream life, because the world's waiting for you to have your dream life. The world's waiting for you to be a speaker. The world's waiting for whatever it is. That's why I always think everybody should have a podcast, because the world's waiting for your voice. Everybody has something to say to the world, because nobody's you. You are unique. You're 1 in 8 billion or whatever the population in the world is now. And just think, I'm unique, you know, and don't get an attitude, but just like I am 1 in 8 billion, and nobody does it like me. And the world is waiting for my voice or whatever I have to offer. And you can do it. 100% know you can do it. Will it be easy? Potentially, maybe it won't be too bad. If you've never done it before, it probably will be a struggle. But in the struggle is, I always say, struggles and all that stuff are strength training. I always used to look at negativity in a bad way, and now I look at it as like it's an opportunity for me to grow and strength train and get into the person that I truly want to be. And yeah, just look at it that the negative is a positive, because it's giving you all these skills that you may not have wanted to learn, but you need to learn them because of the situation you're in. But just think how much better after that, because it's like I went through that. Nothing now. So and you'll be tested again. Trials and tribulations are part of this existence that we all have on this planet, and but look at it as a opportunity. So so I'm going to end the podcast there. But don't let you stop you from living your best life. Don't let you stop you, period, on anything. If you want to lose weight, if you want to start a business, don't let you stop you. So on that, I'm going to, I'm going to stop the podcast right now. So, and, if anybody ever wants I'm open, if somebody wants to talk about podcasting or whatever it is, um, just send me a friend request on Facebook. Um, Very open to talking there. So I do that many times on Messenger. And potentially maybe I'd have, if you are up to it, have you as a guest on my podcast. I'd be honored. So on that, you got this. And you take care and go live your dreams.